Hello, Aquarius rising. It's the new moon in Aries, but also a solar eclipse with the North Node in Pisces. Let's talk about it. All right, you're an Aquarius rising. What does that mean? That means Aries is your third house and Pisces is your second house. Okay. So let's talk about this. The new moon is in your third house of thinking, communication. You want things to move forward there. Somehow you're just things are not lining up. You maybe wanted to be busier. Maybe you want to be more social. Maybe you want people to listen to you. Maybe you want to teach. Maybe you want to just be more self-expressive, right? Maybe it's your community is not accepting you or something like that. You just want things to move forward in this area. Thinking, writing, learning, siblings, communication, short trips, neighbors. The third house is also sacred places, right? Um, that being said, I think that could be because Mars has been retrograde. Where here, your sixth house of health, daily life, routine, something has been a little off with your routine, with your health, and it's not creating the right environment for you to have a routine even. You haven't nurtured this sixth house area in the past, and that's why Mars retrograde boiled everything up. Maybe you've been dealing with a lot of sickness during Mars retrograde. Maybe you've been dealing with a lot of busyness and you just haven't had time to sit and think and reflect, um, meeting your needs in this area, right? And that holds you back from being able to move forward with plans, to be able to even communicate clearly. Like it's hard to communicate clearly when you're feeling pain, right? Or something like that. That being said, let's think outside the box. Where? In your second house, values, money, income, personal resources. That's where the North Node's going to be. It's driving you towards your own values and what matters to you. Okay. So thinking outside the box here in your second house of money, resources, self-worth, I think maybe a big one for you. Um, Maybe it's like, hey, I need my values are that I need more time to nurture my body and you know feel okay at work, right? Maybe it's that I need for my work to align with my money. Well, that's going to take some reimagining, and you're going to have to eventually communicate that to people. But the reevaluation comes, is this worth the money? Am I making enough money? Like here I am going to work every day, getting sick, not taking care of myself. Well, am I making enough money? Maybe we need to reimagine this in order to move forward with being able to do the third house. The third house really is like, it's a lot like everyday life. The third and sixth house kind of go hand in hand, but the third house is very social. Third house is like my neighbors, how I speak, how I act, how I think. Are you thinking clearly? Not unless you sit here and think about your values and think if are you taking care of yourself? And if you're not, we need to really open up our minds here and imagine a life in which you do take care of yourself every day and you do make the money that you need and you do get to move forward with all these plans and all this social activity and all this communication, right? Eventually, Mars will move into Leo and the relationships pop off, right? So that's going to be a lot later, but also eventually Saturn moves into your third house of thinking, writing, short trips. And there's something you're going to master about that when Saturn moves in there. But right now, we need to master our imagination mixed with money. What is the life you dream of, Aquarius rising? That is what we're talking about here. So I hope that you can really think outside the box for that. I will say joy needs to be driving you. Joy is important for you. Jupiter, which rules the North Node in Pisces, is in the fifth house of self expression, creativity, inner child, fun. Um, but if you've been, like, for instance, having too much fun, spending too much money, and then you're having to work like a dog and not be able to take care of yourself, it's time to think outside the box and figure out how can we organize our life better to both add to our values and our money, make sure I'm nurturing myself every day, and also allow me to have fun. It is a juggling act. We're in a juggling act right now, but that's where your juggling act is, and I think you got it. All right, Aquarius rising. We'll be back for the full moon in your ninth house in Libra. on April 12th. Mandy Ray of Ecstatic Astrology, ecstaticastrology.com. Catch you on the flip side.